What's going on YouTube? So while the A8 occupies the official mantle of flagship Audi sedan, the A7 effectively is co-flagship for those of you who want a more sensual design. And today that's what we're checking out. The latest 2022 A7 in the fully loaded prestige trim level. So is this the best four-door luxury coupe on the market? Let's go ahead and find out. So like I was mentioning in the introduction, the biggest reason why you would probably want to buy an A7 is because you like the way it looks. And I do agree, this is a very nice looking sport sedan, especially when we get a combination like what we have today. So we have the pearly white paint and it contrasts really nicely with the full blacked out grille that we have since we have the black optic package. That also is going to black out your Audi branding, and additionally we have the S-Line package. That's going to further add some aggressive elements down here to the lower fascia. So this is going to be the sportiest version of the regular A7 you can get until, of course, you go up to the S7. And then in terms of our headlights here, we do have a standard full LED setup. Since this is the Prestige though, we have the Matrix LED headlights. That's going to include entry and exit animations. We of course have the dynamic turn signal as well. Now, as you'd expect for a sporty and sexy sedan, you are going to have several different wheel choices you can choose between. You're going to start out with 19-inch alloys, move to 20-inch alloys, and you can get 21-inch alloys, which is what we have today. These are actually brand new for 2022. It's a 21-inch wheel package with the kind of turbine gray finish in here. Looks really nice, once again, especially with this pearly white paint. And these are going to be wrapped in summer tires as well when you choose this option. And then as you can see, we do have S-Line branding. And then in terms of the mirrors, Audi gives you all the features straight from the premium trim level. So you have blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, heating, and power folding.
Now the side is one of my favorite parts about the 22 A7 because this is an absolutely gorgeous design. I mean, that's really what this A7 is going after, is that beautiful design that maybe even the Audi A6 doesn't have. But as far as the overall length, you're looking at 194.4 inches, which is a good length for the segment. And let's make our way around the sleek and sportback design and then check out the rear. Now the rear is also pretty darn sexy, as you would expect out of a vehicle that main design element is just to look cool. So up top, you will notice this right here, we have it deployed out. This is the power deploying spoiler, which of course is a really unique element that you don't see on very many cars at all. Really, I think about this and the Porsche Panamera, about the only two cars that still have that feature, which is a really nice feature to see. It also gives you the ability to make it a really sleek design if you don't want it sticking out. Now, as far as the taillight components, these are of course beautiful full LED taillights as you would expect out of an Audi product. They do also have the nice animations for the premium model, the Prestige model like what we have today. And then if we drop down, you will notice that you have this aggressive diffuser area. It is going to be blacked out since we have the black optic package. However, I am pretty disappointed to see that there's still no exhaust pipes on the A7. I really think that could have set off this design even more than it does. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the warranty and safety information for the Audi A7. Now, as you would expect out of an expensive vehicle like this, you are going to have the vast majority of systems as standard equipment. I would like to see actually all of them as standard equipment, but if you go for at least the premium plus trim level, you will have forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, as well as adaptive cruise control with their traffic jam assist. Now, if you go for that base premium, you will scratch off the adaptive cruise with the traffic jam assist. So that's unfortunate. Now for your warranty information, you are going to have Audi's signature warranty, which is 4-year, 50,000 mile, both basic and powertrain warranty. But guys, as you can see, this A7 is a pretty sexy machine on the outside, but I know it has a really luxurious cabin on the inside. So let's go ahead and check that out before we take it out in a spin.
So walking up to the A7, of course you do have a standard smart entry system. You have the brand's typical key fob with the gloss black and metal trim. And getting inside, just grab behind the handle. Now on the Prestige level, as you can see, you do have the soft close door function. Now, of course, the A7 was one of the first models to get this brand new interior design for the Audi brand, and that does continue on for 2022. In terms of your different color and material choices, of course, just like every Audi, you're gonna have standard real leather seating across the entire lineup of A7s. That's gonna come in your choice of black, beige, or brown. Additionally, you can get an optional Valcona premium leather. That's going to come with a seat that has extra levels of adjustment as well as massaging over top of the standard 12-way power adjustment. Now let's go ahead and take a look around at our materials, because obviously this is a very premium vehicle. This is the standard version. We don't have the extended leather package on this specific example. That being said, of course, you have premium leatherette materials all around through the cabin, including on the armrest. I love the nice metal window switches through there, leather padded right through here, nicely padded along the top with a stitching detail, and of course a beautiful generous use of open pore wood throughout. As we continue on to the dashboard, again more of this soft touch plastic with the stitching detail. Big piece of the open pore wood that travels across. The center is going to be finished in piano black. And then, unlike some of the more affordable Audis, the center console is also going to be covered with the wood, which looks very nice. And then you have the leather padding along the side for your knee to rest against. Now start it up, put your foot on the brake, and press the dash-mounted button. So after you start it up, of course, just like with most of your Audi products, you will be greeted with the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit system. This is the latest generation of it, so it has the best graphics available and the highest performance available. And new for 2022, this is now included on the base premium trim, so you don't have to get up to the premium plus to have this option. Of course, it contains all of the typical information like every other version of virtual cockpit, including the ability to scroll over to your map display. Furthermore, since this is the Prestige trim, we do also have the head-up display. Now pulling back to the steering wheel, we do have a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel, a little squared off over here on the side for better touch points. And then in terms of the wheel itself, it is going to be power adjusting, and we do also have steering wheel heating on this specific example. But let's go ahead and take a look at interior storage next. So it has a very similar interior to a lot of Audis in the lineup. We'll start out underneath the center console here. You'll notice a pretty small center console, but it is very nicely finished. A beautiful and very soft felt lining through there. We do have our USB connections, which have been upgraded to USB Type-Cs, and it is illuminated. Now it would be a tight fit to put our coupons in here. And of course we've got our cup holders here, but where else might we be able to put them? Well, actually there's this very large bin right there. It looks like it would be shallow, but it's actually gigantic. So check this out. I can stick our stack of coupons in there without folding and slide it all the way back like that and close it up. So it's actually a very versatile space, very convenient for coupons, so you can, hand them out the drive-through window or whatever you need to do. Okay, so let's take a look next at our shifter. This, of course, is the typical Audi electronic shifter. Nice squared off metal design here. Pull back for drive, bump to the right if you want to shift manually. And we do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. Push all the way up to the front to go into reverse. And when you do, you will be greeted with this 360-degree camera system on the Premium Plus trim and the Prestige model. As you can see, when you turn, it does bend with you. And then, of course, everyone's favorite feature, the 3D view. Audi certainly is one of the best in the world at doing these 360-degree 3D drone cameras here. Absolutely beautiful and very detailed with things like your turn signals, which actually pop up on the car and stuff like that. So really, really neat. And of course, press the P for park, and you do have an electronic parking brake right behind that. And moving on from that, the next place we come to will be our volume knob. So with the Prestige model, that's going to come standard with the 16 speaker 705 watt Bang & Olufsen 3D audio system. That's where we're going to give a sample to in just a second, but I do want to mention that you can also get an 1820 watt 19 speaker Bang & Olufsen advanced 3D sound system, and that's the one with the rising tweeters and all that cool stuff. If this still isn't good enough for you, but it is a very nice sounding sound system. But yeah, as you can tell, like I said, very nice sounding sound system. Alright, so of course, like any Audi, a big part of the interior is this new dual screen setup with the MMI touch response infotainment system on it. The bottom display is what we'll look at first. I apologize, it is a bit reflective the way that the sun is shining through the side windows today. But it is mostly focused on the climate controls down here. With the Prestige grade, we do have 4-zone automatic climate control. And of course, you can just swipe up and down to adjust the temperature like so. It does have haptic feedback, so everything you push feels like a physical button inside of this display, and you can change the zones and all that stuff right through there. Additionally, we do have the 3-stage heated seats, and we also have 3-stage ventilated seats. And additional functions are located by pressing that, and this is where you can access your heated steering wheel. Also built into this display, you have some functions like the rear spoiler, popping that out. We also have our garage door openers built in there as well. This display is 8.8 inches, and this top display is 10.1 inches. And new for 2022 is the fact that this setup is standard even on the premium trim. Previously, the top display was a little bit smaller if you chose the premium, but now you get the full-sized unit. So if you've seen any other previous Audi reviews, you pretty much know what this touch response infotainment system is like. Very simple, very tablet-like. It is all black themed, so it kind of blends in with the piano black that surrounds it. We do have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay on board. That's what I'm in right now, and it works very well. You do also have the built-in maps. We just have it in the standard version, but of course you can get the famous Google Earth maps that Audis have been able to get for a long time. Rising on up from that, we do have a standard frameless auto-dimming mirror with built-in compass right there. Obviously, all the lighting in here is going to be full LED. And up here on the roof, we have a standard sunroof. It is not quite panoramic, but it's definitely larger than normal. Basically, they made it as large as they could before it would start to impede on the rear headroom, and it does open up with a dedicated wind buffer as well.
Alrighty guys, hop on back here in the A7's rear area. Now, of course, this is a Sportback designed car, so this rear area could be a little bit tight and cramped, but I'm happy to say it's really not. Now, as far as your legroom figures, we're looking at 37 inches of legroom, 37.1 inches of headroom, which are respectable figures for the segment. It is slightly smaller than the Audi A6, but it is larger than the Mercedes-Benz CLS, its chief competitor. And as you can see, I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8", and I have plenty of space, so I really don't think you're going to have any issues. I'd say 9 to 10 inches of rear legroom. Now, let's talk about some of the features, because this is a luxury sedan, so it's got to be nice back here. So here in the center, we do have standard vents, as you would expect out of a luxury vehicle. If we drop below that, you will have at least 3-zone climate. However, this particular tester has the optional 4-zone climate that's included with the Prestige model. And as you can see, this whole area is like a nice, almost touchscreen style like you get in the front, so this is really bougie and fancy. Additionally, we're also going to get heated rear seats included in that cold weather package. Further below that, we have a USB-C, actually 2 of them, and we also have a 12-volt outlet, but no household style outlet. I also want to point out you have that center tunnel there, so it might be a little bit uncomfortable for that third passenger. Now, if you fold this down, you're going to have a nice center armrest. We have a little felt line storage cubby inside. If we push that, that expands out to give you some really small cup holders. I might fit a Dixie cup in there. I don't know why it's quite so small. But overall, you're going to have a really nice rear area. And then looking at your door trim, of course, you're going to have beautiful materials just like you would in the front, as well as a bottle holder in the bottom. So walking up to the tailgate area, one of the beautiful things about this Audi A7 is that even though it kind of looks like a sedan, it's a sportback, which means that you're going to have a really large, nice area back here. So they do include a hands-free power tailgate standard on every single A7. So in order to open it up, just wave your foot under the bumper. And as you can see, it does work quite well. And here you go. That's what I was talking about. You have that liftgate style back here. And we're looking at 24.9 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the second row seats, which is significantly larger than the Mercedes-Benz CLS, and of course significantly larger than the Audi A6. So you're going to have a lot more cargo capacity, and honestly, it's impressively practical for a vehicle like this. Now, as far as how Audi has finished it back here, we do have nice finishings, of course. You have this cargo cover. This is integrated in, so it's always going to be there. You also have a cubby here on the left side. And then as far as the seats, they do fold 40-20-40 split folding, which is a nice premium touch. It gives you that extra usability. We have a 12-volt outlet here on the right side. And if we lift up the floor, you will find a spare tire. Of course, you are going to have a power passenger seat. This is an A7 after all. I do want to point out you can also get passenger seat memory. We don't have that on this particular model. However, if we open up the glove box, you will notice we have a really good sized glove box. As you can see, this is impressively large. All of our coupons can fit in there perfectly fine. We don't have them in there right now, but as you can see, there's plenty of room. It's also nicely felt lined. And then up top, we do have a sun visor. We have LED illumination, a small mirror, and we can also detach the visor as well as extend it out. Nice. It's up to 55.
Yeah, really quick and really quiet acceleration up to 55 there. So with this A7, we are continuing with the same powertrain as the previous model years for this regular version. Of course, if you want ultimate power, then go for an S7 or an RS7.
Even better.
But in terms of this, we're looking at 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque from a 3-liter turbo V6 engine paired with a mild hybrid setup. Yeah. As you can see, that sounds complicated, and it is complicated, but it all comes together really nicely when you put your foot down to give you quite a lot of acceleration. Plenty of power. 0-60 is going to be about 5.2 seconds when you put your foot fully down.
Yeah, and it really the thing that strikes me almost the most about it is just the sheer level of smoothness that it's able to deliver that power. Like that first acceleration showed you, and as we'll see here in just a second, it just effortless power, and that's exactly what people want if you're buying an executive sedan like this. Nice. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it is. It is quite quick. Like I said, it is really quiet. I don't remember the last time it was like so quiet when we were behind the wheel, but yeah, it is.
Even matted down, it does so. It doesn't even make it hardly any noise at all. It's kind of weird sensation, but that really just plays into this vehicle's overall comfort. And let's go ahead and talk about that. Why not? This A7 is extremely, extremely comfortable, and that really just goes into your ride quality. You wouldn't know that we're on a really rough road without just looking out the windshield. This is a very rough road. We've tested out many products on this road, and holy moly, guys, it is soaking up the bumps exceptionally well. Now, we do have adaptive dampers for the Prestige model.
It comes with the 21-inch wheels.
Okay, well, we have them optionally on this Prestige
on
model.
This model.
And I would highly recommend getting that because that really just smooths things out. We've spent some time in A7 before, the A6 before, and I don't remember riding nearly this smooth. So this is going to give you that extra level of comfort to match with the powertrain refinement experience, and I'm very impressed by it.
We don't have any real curvy roads to go around, but we are going around a kind of wide sweeping corner here. And I think it's a fitting time to mention that even though this car looks quite sporty, in the standard version, the A7 really is designed for luxury.
Yeah.
Like we've been mentioning, of course, it shares the foundation with the A6, and that's going to make everything nice and comfortable. It does have decent dynamics, don't get me wrong. Body roll is pretty nicely controlled and stuff, but just when you're behind the wheel, you get the sense that this is made for being comfortable, for cruising, for things like that, not for doing anything hardcore. If you want to go hardcore, Audi's got those other versions for you to get in the S7 and the RS7. Now, as an Audi mild hybrid, I want you to go ahead and pay attention to the tachometer as I kind of come to a stop up here with this red light. So as you could tell there, the car turned off while I was going still at pretty decent speed, and it will stay off until you get back on your throttle there. Oh, well, it does. As I heard you say that. It was like, hey, I'm going to turn off. That's probably due to the climate control or something like that. But yes, with the mild hybrid, it turns off while you're coming to a stop, and it is supremely smooth.
Yeah.
They do a really, really good job of just kind of blending it in there. It's not an auto start stop system that you're going to be itching to turn off, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Now let's also talk about the transmission. So with the A7, we have a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission on board. Just like with the rest of the powertrain, it is nice and smooth. And of course, the big benefit of a dual clutch is that you have really nice and fast shifts, which are certainly on board with this, even when you use paddle shifters or just leave it in the normal mode.
Of course, you also have standard quattro all-wheel drive. This is an Audi after all, and as far as your fuel economy is concerned, you're going to have pretty good fuel economy, 21, 30, 24 combined. Of course, premium fuel is also required. Alrighty guys, and if you didn't know, we are here in Kentucky, so let's go ahead and do our Slam Dunk and Airball, which is a signature element we throw in all of our full reviews. Something we would like to see a little bit of improvement on, and something we really like. Now, I think the thing that we really like the most about the A7 has to be just the overall design. I think that's really this car's strongest element, and it needs to be because it's an A7. Of course, you need a reason to get this over an A6. It is more expensive, which actually is our airball today is the price, because the A7 can get pretty expensive. So you are definitely going to be paying for those curvy looks that kind of seduce everyone around you. You're going to pay a pretty penny for it. The premium's going to start at $69,200, premium plus $74,350. The Prestige is $78,350. It is also worth noting, we haven't mentioned it in this review, but there is a plug-in hybrid offered on the A7 as well. So if you want that kind of hybrid components, you can get that on this model. That was added in one of the model years after it came out in 2019. Now this baby is a Prestige, and we do have pretty much every option package on it. Once we add in the destination charge of $1,095, as well as a few credits for the wireless phone charging and a few missing equipment items, you're looking at $85,435.
But overall, there really is a lot to like about this Audi A7. Of course, this is a really great luxury sedan, but it's not just a great luxury sedan. It's a great luxury sedan, but that also has a lot of great style. So this is definitely appealing to the person that wants that extra sexy design, but doesn't want to exchange that for all the comfort and nice amenities that you're used to. So if that is you, then definitely come out and check out the A7.
Well guys, thanks so much for watching this in-depth review of the 2022 Audi A7 Prestige. This of course is a beautiful vehicle, but if you like cars at all, I promise you will find something you like on the Car Confections channel, because we have all types of cars, not just luxury cars like this. We have normal mainstream cars as well as even more expensive luxury cars. So whatever you want, you will find on our channel. So please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps us out. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.